There is one missing nutrient that is silently sitting in your soil right now, and until you fix it, your peach tree will keep flowering, keep looking healthy, and keep giving you almost nothing to harvest. I've watched growers spend years chasing the wrong problem when the entire solution fits in a single tablespoon. Today I'm showing you exactly what it is, exactly how to apply it, and exactly what will change in your tree when you do. If you want real, field-tested peach growing advice that actually moves the needle on your harvest, not recycled internet tips, but things that work on real trees in real soil, subscribe to this channel right now. Every week I put out content built from years of hands-on experience, and this video might be the most immediately useful one I've made. In the next few minutes, you're going to understand why so many peach trees flower heavily but fruit poorly, what's actually going on beneath the surface that causes it, and the single spoon-measured treatment that experienced growers use to flip a non-productive tree into one that carries a full, heavy harvest season after season. This is not a gimmick. This is basic agronomy that most backyard growers have never been taught, and by the end of this video, you'll wonder why nobody told you sooner. Let me start with a conversation I've had more times than I can count. A grower comes to me frustrated. Their peach tree is 4, 5, sometimes 6 years old. Every spring it puts on a show, blossoms absolutely everywhere, the whole tree turns pink, neighbors comment on how beautiful it looks. And then by summer, there's maybe 30 or 40 small fruits that actually develop, half of which drop before they're ripe, and the ones that do make it to harvest are small, pale, and lack the sweetness and depth of flavor that a peach should have. The grower has tried different fertilizers, they've pruned, they've watered more carefully, and still, the tree underdelivers year after year. The first question I always ask is, have you ever had your soil tested? The answer is almost always no, and that's where the story starts, because the single most common reason a peach tree flowers but doesn't fruit well, doesn't convert those blossoms into a real heavy crop of quality fruit, is a potassium deficiency at the exact moment in the season when potassium matters most. Not a dramatic deficiency where the leaves turn brown and curl, not a crisis that announces itself with obvious symptoms. A quiet, chronic shortage that sits just below the threshold of visible damage but absolutely limits what the tree can do with its flowers and its fruit. What makes this so frustrating is that potassium deficiency often doesn't look like anything at all on the surface. The tree looks green, the growth looks normal, the blossoms look great. So growers don't suspect it. They look for something more dramatic, a pest, a disease, a drainage problem. And they spend time and money treating the wrong things while the real issue sits unaddressed in the soil beneath their feet. Meanwhile, every season that goes by without correcting it is another wasted year of potential. The other mistake I see is growers who are applying fertilizer, often a balanced granular product, but applying it at the wrong time. They throw it on in the middle of summer when the tree is already in fruit development and the window for the most critical nutritional support has already passed. Or they apply it right before harvest, which does almost nothing for the crop that's already on the tree and risks pushing soft vegetative growth at exactly the wrong time. Timing is everything with fruit tree nutrition, and most growers are consistently off by weeks, sometimes by months. Here's the science, and I'll make it as practical as possible because I want you to be able to use this, not just understand it in theory. Potassium is the nutrient most directly responsible for what happens to a peach after it sets. It controls how water moves in and out of cells, which determines fruit size. It regulates the sugar loading process, which determines sweetness and flavor. It strengthens cell walls, which determines how well the fruit holds together, how resistant it is to splitting, and how long it stores after picking. And critically, it plays a central role in flower initiation and early fruit set, the very process that converts your blossoms into actual peaches rather than just falling to the ground. When potassium is limited in the soil, or when the soil's pH is off enough that potassium can't be absorbed efficiently even when it's physically present, the tree will do two things. First, it will prioritize getting whatever potassium is available to the youngest, most actively growing tissues, the new shoots and leaves. That means the developing fruit, which needs potassium desperately at certain key stages, is starved of it. The tree is making a survival decision, not a production decision. Second, early fruit drop increases dramatically because the tree cannot support the metabolic demands of a heavy fruit set without adequate potassium, so it sheds excess fruit, your harvest, as a stress response. The form of potassium I'm going to show you in this video is potassium sulfate, sometimes labeled as sulfate of potash. It's the preferred form for fruit trees for a specific reason. Unlike potassium chloride, the other common potassium source, potassium sulfate does not add chloride to the soil. Chloride accumulation is harmful to peaches over time, and in many soils it's already at levels that stress the roots without growers realizing it. Potassium sulfate delivers potassium and sulfur, both of which peach trees need, without any of the chloride baggage. It's also relatively fast-acting when dissolved in water and applied directly to the root zone, which matters when you're trying to correct a deficiency during an active growing season. The measurement matters. 1 level tablespoon, about 15 grams, dissolved in 10 liters of water per mature tree, applied to the root zone, gives you a targeted, measured dose that is immediately available to the roots without the risk of saltburn that comes from broadcasting granular fertilizer in dry conditions. This is the form and rate that I use. This is what I've seen work consistently, and this is the specific application method that commercial orchardists use when they need a fast, targeted response from their trees mid-season. Let me walk you through the full approach, step by step, the way I do it on my own trees, and the way I've recommended it to growers who've come back to tell me it changed everything about their harvest. Step 1 is identifying whether you actually have a potassium issue and whether your soil pH is allowing the tree to access the nutrients that are already there. If you've never had a soil test done, do one before anything else. Simple home test kits are available at any garden center and will give you a basic pH reading in minutes. Peach trees perform best in a soil pH between 6.0 and 6.5. Below pH 6.0, potassium availability drops sharply, even if potassium is physically present in the soil. Above 7.0, you also start to see micronutrient lockout that affects flowering and fruit development. If your pH is off, no amount of potassium supplementation will deliver its full effect until the pH is corrected. Low pH soils get a lime application to bring them up. High pH soils benefit from elemental sulfur worked into the root zone. Step 2 is timing your application correctly, because this is where the difference between a good result and an outstanding result is made. There are 3 windows where potassium application to a peach tree delivers the most return. The first window is late winter, about 4 to 6 weeks before expected bud break. This pre-season application builds the tree's potassium reserves before the intense energy demands of flowering and early fruit set begin. The second window is at petal fall, right after the blossoms have dropped and you can see the tiny fruitlets beginning to form. This is arguably the single most critical application point because you are feeding the tree at the exact moment it is working hardest to convert fruitlets into developing fruit. Miss this window and you've missed your best opportunity of the season. The third window is 4 to 6 weeks before harvest, when the fruit is sizing up rapidly and needs a final potassium push to maximize sugar development and skin quality. Hit all 3 windows and your tree is supported through every stage of its production cycle. Step 3 is preparing your solution. Take 1 level tablespoon of potassium sulfate, 15 grams, and dissolve it thoroughly in 10 liters of water. Stir it for 2 to 3 minutes until you can no longer see any undissolved crystals. This is your application solution for 1 mature tree. For a younger tree, 3 or 4 years old, use half a tablespoon. For trees in large containers, use 2 teaspoons. These are not rough estimates. They're measured rates that deliver an effective dose without risking fertilizer burn to the root system. Step 4 is application. Water your tree normally the day before you apply this solution, so the soil is already moist. Apply the potassium sulfate solution slowly and evenly around the drip line of the tree, the area directly below the outer reach of the canopy, not against the trunk. The feeder roots that actually absorb nutrients are located out toward the drip line, not at the base of the tree. Pour the solution slowly so it soaks in rather than running off. Do not apply to bone-dry soil. The moist soil from the day before ensures the solution moves down into the root zone rather than sitting on the surface and concentrating. Step 5 is to pair this potassium application with a foliar spray of trace minerals, specifically zinc and boron. This combination is something commercial peach orchards use routinely, and it's one of the most impactful things a small-scale grower can add to their program. Boron is critical for pollen tube development. It's literally what allows a flower to be fertilized and set fruit. Zinc is essential for normal cell division in developing fruit and for the production of auxins, which are the hormones that tell a fruitlet to keep developing rather than drop. A foliar spray of zinc sulfate and borax, both available at any agricultural supply store, applied at bud swell and again at petal fall, works alongside the soil-applied potassium to address the two most common trace mineral limitations that reduce fruit set in peaches. Mix 1 teaspoon of zinc sulfate and half a teaspoon of borax in 5 liters of water and spray to the point of runoff on the foliage and developing buds, early in the morning on a calm day. Let me show you what this looks like on a real tree, because there's a specific visual progression you'll notice in the weeks after a well-timed potassium application. And knowing what to expect will help you confirm that the treatment is working. In the first week after applying your potassium sulfate solution at petal fall, you'll notice the tiny fruitlets holding on. Where before you might have seen significant early drop, fruitlets yellowing and falling at 2 to 3 weeks, you'll now see the majority staying green and firm on the branch. That's your first confirmation. The tree is holding its crop because it has the resources to support it. By 3 to 4 weeks after application, look at the color of the developing fruit. Well-nourished fruitlets at this stage will be a healthy deep green, firm to the touch, and sizing up visibly from week to week. If you have a tree nearby that you haven't treated, compare them. The difference in fruitlet retention and early sizing is often obvious. Look also at the leaves. Potassium-sufficient peach leaves in midsummer are a rich, full green with no browning or scorch at the margins. Marginal leaf scorch, browning around the edges of the leaf, is actually one of the clearest visible symptoms of potassium deficiency, and it typically appears in midsummer when fruit demand for potassium is at its peak and the soil supply runs short. If you see it, that's the tree telling you directly what it needs. As you get into the final 4 to 6 weeks before harvest, look at how the fruit is coloring up. Peaches from potassium-sufficient trees color earlier, more evenly, and more deeply than those from deficient trees. The blush develops from the sun-exposed side and spreads. The ground color transitions from green to the characteristic golden yellow of the variety, and when you press a ripe peach gently near the stem end, it gives with just the right amount of softness. Peaches from chronically potassium-deficient trees often stay partially green longer, develop poor color, and have a flat, waterlogged flavor compared to what the variety is actually capable of. I want to pause here and ask you something directly. Before watching this video, did you know that potassium was the key nutrient for peach fruit development, or did you think it was mostly about nitrogen? Drop "knew it" or "learned it" in the comments right now. I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know where most of you are starting from. Your answers actually shape the topics I cover next. Now here is a golden tip, something that took me years of trial and error to arrive at, and that I genuinely believe is one of the least known leverage points in peach production for small-scale growers. Most people think about feeding the tree. Almost nobody thinks about feeding the soil biology that makes the feeding work. Here's what I mean. Potassium sulfate, zinc, boron, all of these are inputs. But the efficiency with which your tree absorbs these inputs depends entirely on the health of the microbial community in your root zone. Mycorrhizal fungi, in particular, form a symbiotic relationship with peach roots that dramatically extends the tree's ability to access nutrients, especially phosphorus and trace minerals, from the surrounding soil. These fungi are present in healthy, undisturbed soils, but they're killed by excessive synthetic fertilizer use, by soil compaction, and by repeated cultivation right under the tree. The practical application of this is simple. Once a year, after harvest, mix a tablespoon of a granular mycorrhizal inoculant product into the top layer of compost mulch you apply around the root zone. This reintroduces the beneficial fungi every season, and the result is a tree that absorbs its inputs more efficiently, is more drought resilient, and produces more consistently with less total fertilizer input. It costs almost nothing and works quietly underground in a way that shows up clearly in your harvest. Before I wrap up, let me quickly go through the mistakes that consistently undermine this approach, even when growers are trying to do the right thing. The first is using the wrong form of potassium. Potassium chloride, also called muriate of potash, is cheaper and widely available, but the chloride it adds to the soil accumulates over time and is toxic to peach roots at higher concentrations. Always use potassium sulfate for fruit trees. The second is applying to dry soil. Concentrated fertilizer solution applied to dry soil can pull water out of roots through osmosis, the opposite of what you want. Wet the soil first, always. The third is expecting results without addressing pH. If your soil is outside the 6.0 to 6.5 range, the potassium you apply may sit in the soil, essentially unavailable to your tree. A $15 soil test can save you years of frustration. The fourth is treating this as a one-time fix rather than a seasonal program. Peach trees are heavy potassium feeders. They remove significant amounts from the soil with every harvest. What you replace needs to match what's being removed over the whole season, which means consistent applications at the right timing windows, not a single dose and done. The fifth is skipping the trace minerals. Potassium alone will improve your results. Potassium paired with properly timed boron and zinc applications is the complete picture. These elements work together in the flowering and fruit set process, and neglecting any one of them limits the effectiveness of the others. Here's the thing about peach farming that I always come back to. The tree is never the problem. Given the right soil environment, the right nutritional support at the right moments, and a grower who's paying attention, a peach tree will produce with a generosity that will genuinely humble you. I've seen trees that went years producing almost nothing turn completely around within 2 seasons, once the underlying nutritional issue was addressed. It doesn't take expensive equipment or complicated chemistry. It takes understanding what the tree actually needs and delivering it with good timing. 1 tablespoon of the right material at the right moment, measured and applied correctly, can be the entire difference between a disappointing harvest and one that has you giving bags of peaches to every neighbor on your street. If this video gave you a clear path forward with your trees, I'd love it if you joined this channel permanently. Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single upload. The growers who get the best results are the ones who stay consistent with their knowledge, and that's exactly what this channel is built to support. Next week, I'm going into something that directly follows on from what we've covered today: how to read your peach tree's leaves like a diagnostic map, so you can identify exactly which nutrient is limiting your tree just by looking at the color, shape, and pattern of what's happening on the foliage. It's a skill that will save you money and guesswork for the rest of your growing life. Don't miss it.